Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a sort of follow-up to the video on this monstrosity, the Jessye Norman Complete Studio Recitals, which is neither complete nor the studio recitals entirely. So we're going to follow it up, and which has a defective disc 10, by the way, as many of you also pointed out. This thing. Jessye Norman, the Unreleased Masters. Now, the Unreleased Masters consist of 3 discs that she did not approve for release before she passed away, but that were very good. Some things actually apparently had been authorized, but one of the couplings wasn't or whatnot. She was very, very, very particular about her recorded legacy and about safeguarding her recorded legacy as she saw fit. One of the examples of that, remember, was the Bartók Bluebeard's Castle with Boulez on Deutsche Grammophon that was delayed for like years and years and years before she finally agreed to let it be released. And it isn't even that good after all that. So, So anyway, the Unreleased Masters consist of 3 discs, which were supposed to be in here because they are discussed in the booklet in here, but they are not in here. Good job, Decca. I mean, they can't get anything right, it seems, these people. They really can't. But this was produced by the great Cyrus Mayer Homji in Decca Australia, Universal Australia, who does eloquence and who knows what he's doing and knows what he's talking about. So apparently this was all remastered and diddled or whatever, and who knows if she would have approved it or not. But it's mostly very good stuff and some interesting stuff. There are 3 discs. The first consists of Wagner, Tristan, and Isolde excerpts. The second is the Strauss 4 Last Songs, again, with Levine, and the Wagner Wesendonck Lieder, with Levine and Berlin Phil. And then the third is a really lovely recital consisting of Haydn's Scena di Berenice che, which is what the hell are you doing, or whatever it means in Italian. Berlioz's Cleopatra, the thing that she wasn't entirely satisfied with it. She had recorded it before. And Britten's Phaedra, which is cool and new and wonderful. It was written for Janet Baker, actually. So I want to come to this little box that it has, like, is it starting to fall out? You know, it's not like a gatefold. It's a solid, but it's very solid. I mean, but it's so solid that, there we go. Whew. Yeah, I've opened it and closed it a few times and listening to it, so now it's loosened up a bit. But it's one of these little boxy things, and I'm just going to tell you exactly what this stuff is. These were recorded between, I think, 1989 and 1998, something like that. They give you the dates, and it's not like there's anything terribly wrong with it, or that's any worse than what she normally did. But she was picky. That's the way it goes. So what have we got from Wagner? We've got about like an hour of Tristan and Isolde stuff. We've got it's with, let's put it this way, with Thomas Moser as Tristan, Hannah Schwartz as Brangäne, and the seaman is the young Ian Bostridge, because this was recorded in 1998. The younger Ian Bostridge, with the Gewandhaus Orchestra under Kurt Masur. Now, apparently, they're very honest about this. These recording sessions were not happy. No one is quite sure why they weren't happy, but apparently Masur and Norman, in this case, had issues with each other. So we've got Act 1. We've got, of course, the prelude, and Scene 1, Scene 2, and Scene 3, up to Wie lachen Sie mir Lieder singen, or something like that. Wie lachen Sie mir Lieder singen. Pardon me, not Lieder. Lieder, of course, is sorrow, and Lieder is songs. Let's get that straight. Then we've got Act 2, Scene 2, Isolde Geliebte, and Tristan Geliebter. Because I guess if you're a boy, you're a Geliebter, and if you're a woman, you're a Geliebte. It's the Liebesnacht. Unsere Liebe, Tristan Liebe, dein in mine, and they sing and scream and shriek and carry on, and your night is my day, and my day is your night, and my darkness is your brightness, and my brightness is your darkness, and until my brightness became your darkness, my darkness couldn't become my lightness, because my lightness is my... They just talk. Toscanini really said it best. He said if they'd been Italian, they would have had 7 children by now, but because they're German, they're still talking. which I think is probably the best analysis of the Liebesnacht I've ever heard. Then we've got Act 3, of course, Scene 3, the Liebestod. So that takes up quite a bit of time, and everybody sings quite well, actually. It's a nice selection of Tristan excerpts. It's all they managed to do. There's a little question as about how much they actually intended to do. It was never supposed to be a complete recording of the opera. And then we've got the Richard Strauss Four Last Songs. Now, this is live. First of all, it opens with like an entire minute of applause. It looks like the timing is rather slow on the first song. It's not. They're all clapping. It's quicker than the famously slow, unbelievably opulent Court Mazur recording on Philips that made history for being the slowest ever and also most gloriously sung Four Last Songs. I mean, for what it was really as much a performance of the Four Last Songs, as much a showcase of her voice as it was a performance of the Four Last Songs. And some people object to it for that reason, because it really is a hedonistic hog wallow of a performance. I love it. It's glorious, absolutely glorious. This is much quicker. And because it's live, the recording, I find, places her too far back in the orchestra. I mean, when the vocal line dips down, she gets covered by the orchestra quite frequently. You really can't understand a word she's singing, and that kind of annoys me. Not that the words are all that important, but let's just look at, let's see, Tristan, Isolde, Tristan, they're screaming and yelling and shrieking. Let me get to the booklet here. You do get a booklet with the texts. Amazing, isn't it? Let's see. And here we are, the Four Last Songs. Okay. Now, for example, beim Schlafengehen, going to sleep, that amazing und die Seele unbewacht will in freien Flügeln schweben, and my soul unguarded would soar free in flight. Oh my God. In the Mazur recording, that is the most thrilling vocal line you've ever heard in your life. And the voice just soars. Ya da da da, ya da 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 da. It's amazing. It's not amazing here. Sorry, just ain't. Now, as far as the Wesendonck lieder go, which I never really cared for one way or another, or cared about, they're beautiful. They're really, really beautiful. The balance is better. They weren't recorded at the same time. One of these was done in 1989, the Strauss, and the Wagner was done in 92. She's a little bit more forward. I think she sounds more involved. I might be wrong, because the recording in the Four Last Songs just doesn't really, I think, convey what she must have sounded like live. It really doesn't. But the Wesendonck songs are really, really, really beautiful. Then the last disc is great. I mean, the Scena de Berenice, remember, Norman participated in the Dorati Haydn operas. She sang Ariane auf Naxos. She sang quite a bit of Haydn, unusually for the day. It suited her voice somehow. You would think, no, you would want one of those, pure white nymph and shepherd style British type, period instrument, vibratoless Emma Kirkby things. But no, it's very passionate music, and she really gets into it. So that's lovely. And then the Berlioz Cleopatra, like I said, she did it under Colin Davis, but this is very good. I don't hear anything particularly wrong with it. The voice is in good shape, by the way, for all of these recordings. There's nothing wrong vocally with what she's doing. I think interpretively, she might have had some issues. Whatever she had, I can't even begin to speculate. And then Britten's Phaedra, which is really cool. I mean, the cantata, and lovely. And this is all with the Boston Symphony under Seiji Ozawa. I mean, I'm happy that this is finally released. Actually, it's probably the most important of all the things here, because it really shows her in repertoire, aside from the Berlioz, that she didn't otherwise do. And she's into it. So stomp that back on. This is an excellent set. It's a pity that it was not included with this, like it should have been. Because then, it might be, frankly, it might be better that way. Because if you're a Norman fan, you don't have to get that box, because you probably have all this stuff individually, including a non-defective disc 10. And you can get this separately. You probably already have, if you're a Norman fan. And be perfectly happy, for what it is. It's good that this came out. I really don't usually, jump up and down about releases of things that were not authorized by the performers, because they do have the right to protect their legacy up to a point. But in this particular case, I think that it was justified. I really do. And I think that her estate and family, or whoever had to be consulted about these things, I mean, the families of these artists are often notoriously fussy and difficult to deal with, but I think they were wise. I really do. So I thank them for allowing this to happen. She was a great singer who, in my view, was not really treated as well as she should have been by her labels in terms of, repertoire. And I don't know, it's something about, her interestingness was not projected by her labels, because she did have a wide range of interests. She was very intelligent. She was very careful. She was a major artist, and a serious artist. And I think that this does her justice. So wherever she is now, looking down on us, I hope she's satisfied, because I was, even if the 4 last songs aren't as great as the Mazur. But then what could be? Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.